Tune into the Green and Growing program on Eagle Community Television with Holly Dickman, Ellis County Horticulture Agent. Holly will identify common lawn and garden issues and provide up-to-date information weekdays at noon and 9 p.m. on Channel 14. Green and Growing. Brought to you by Eagle Community Television and Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40 next to the Bickles Schmidt Sports Complex.
As we get into the cooler days of fall, this is the time of year when we need to think about a little bit of weed control in our lawns and our landscapes. And I get a lot of phone calls this time of year wondering about how to control things like bindweed, dandelions, henbit. And this is actually the best time of year to go ahead and try to control some of these pesky weeds. If you have a buffalo grass lawn like this area behind me, you know, we've been extremely dry, and so things really have gone into dormancy a little bit early. Actually, they've been very dry, and so one thing to consider is that weed control may or may not be as effective on weeds that are drought stressed. And I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but we really do need some rain to get these weeds growing actively to kill them with some weed killer. So if you have bindweed or if you have dandelions in the lawn, you know, it may not be practical, but if it is practical for you to water it, that would be beneficial to do several days prior to treating with chemicals to help get those weeds actively growing and able to take up that chemical much easier. Things like bindweed or perennial weeds, they are taking in all of that food and carbohydrates at this time of year to help survive the winter and then start to grow again next spring. So this is why fall is a really excellent time to spray them, because they will take up that chemical much more readily and be more affected by that treatment. Usually what I tell people is you want to wait until we have a light frost before you treat a lawn, especially a warm season grass like buffalo grass or Bermuda grass, because you want that lawn starting to go into dormancy, or in the case of buffalo grass, you want it pretty much completely dormant before you go out with some of those broadleaf weed killers. Things like 2,4-D, dicamba, and MCPP combined will give you better results than a chemical that just has that 2,4-D in it. Now, if you have bindweed in the yard, there is a chemical called quinclorac that has been shown to be especially effective on bindweed. So those products out there that may contain the chemical quinclorac might be your chemical of choice if you have bindweed in the yard. Now, those products might include things like Weed B Gon Max or Weed Out with Q or Trimec with Q. A lot of times you have to look for that quinclorac or with Q on the label. When I'm talking about a light frost, usually in our area around Halloween time is a good time to go out and spray your broadleaf weeds, or even a little bit later into early November, and you can still get good control of some of those things like the bindweed and the dandelions and chickweed and things like that. If you have questions about weed control or how to manage your turf grass in your lawn, contact your local extension office for more information. Reporting for K-State Research and Extension, Eagle TV, I'm Holly Dickman, Ellis County Horticulture Extension Agent.
Tune into the Green and Growing program on Eagle Community Television with Holly Dickman, Ellis County Horticulture Agent. Holly will identify common lawn and garden issues and provide up-to-date information weekdays at noon and 9 p.m. on Channel 14. Green and Growing. Brought to you by Eagle Community Television and Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40 next to the Bickles Schmidt Sports Complex.